Hi folks, exeter-rider. Now this week is going to be all about the 2022 Honda CB500F. As you probably already know, this bike has been around with different generations for many years now. It's predominantly aimed at the A2 market, or the people who are getting back into bikes. Quite often have these. A mate of mine, Keith, he's been off of a bike for probably 15 years now, and he's just bought himself a 2016 model of one of these, and he's really happy with it. It's nice to see him back on a bike again. So they're kind of a jack of all trades in many ways, and suit a lot of different people. Now the 2022 does have a few changes. First of all, the biggest change, I would say, is the dual front disc on the front there. So the previous models were a single front disc, and I can tell you straight away from this first ride review that it is literally twice the power that you get from the braking. It's very good braking on the front, and very light to use. You don't need to give it such a squish on the lever to get it to work. To look at the bike is again, it's much the same really as the previous generation. We've got the kind of shiny pipes coming out from the cylinder block there. The engine is a 471cc parallel twin, which is very well, it's bulletproof. It's known as being bulletproof. It's time served as well. You know, you don't really get any problems with these bikes whatsoever. Another change on these bikes are the tyres. They are now coming as standard with the Michelin Pilot Road 5s. Now for those who don't know about tyres or are new to biking, the Michelin Pilot Road 5s, fair to say that they're probably one of the best out there really for all types of use on the bike. They stick well in the dry and they stick well in the wet as well. Now when Honda first delivered this, I was quite surprised to see a yellow one. I've never seen a yellow CB500F before. In fact, any of the CB range. We got CBR, which I thought that was the fantastic bike, probably my favourite in the 500 range, possibly just because of the looks of it. We've got the 500 Rebel, and of course the CB500X as well, which is a very popular bike, as all these bikes are. You know, this 500 range is, you know, arguably the best out there for a 500cc motorbike. And certainly for the A2, if this is your first big bike, jumping up from a 125, then you're going to love it. Its power delivery is fantastic. It's very linear. Well, let's stop talking about it. Let's get on and have a ride. So you got that typical parallel twin sound that we had before. I believe it has been slightly retuned, and as I say, the power delivery is very smooth indeed all the way through. The clutch is incredibly light. If you've never pulled on one of these clutches in the 500 range, and have a go, it feels absolutely superb. Very light indeed, and in typical Honda fashion, it is very easy to ride as well. And that's one of the Honda traits, is that no matter whether it's the CB1000 or the Honda Goldwing or an MSX 125, they're always easy to ride, very light to ride, very nimble, and very refined as well. This is still good to hoot around on as an experienced rider like I am, and probably good as a second bike. You know, this is would be fantastic just for getting to work, you know, summer or winter. It's a bike that you can have fun on as well, because it is still quick, but it's not license losing quick unless you're really brutal with it. You can still really open it out, and it's not like a 125 where you open it out and it's still a bit flat. With this one, you open it out and you still feel you're making progress. It's got an element of excitement to it. Well then guys, so out into the woods a bit more, onto nicer roads. So speed wise, it's a nice smooth acceleration. You know, you could really open this bike up and not could be doing silly speeds or license losing speeds. And that's why this bike is so popular for experienced riders. And just typical, you're going to find a Fiesta at one point going under the speed limit. Roll-on power, it's pretty good. And again, we've got those super sticky tyres, which give you a lot of confidence. So it's not rip your arms off type of speed, but it will get you up there pretty darn quick. 6th gear, 60 miles an hour, 4,200 revs. And I'm hardly twisting the throttle at all, so yeah, for some B-roading fun, or A-roads, it's going to be absolutely a hoot to ride. And it will teach you the craft of motorcycling as well. Most importantly, it's a good bike to learn your craft on, as they say. Learn how to take corners, and got the ABS as well, should you get in trouble or overcook it. It's really good fun. It's great having a bike which you don't have to hold back at all, and just you can use all of the power. Yeah, at higher speeds you lose that burble of the exhaust. It does tend to get a little bit quieter. Alright guys, so we'll be bringing you a full, seen better days, isn't it? A full review of this bike at some point. But first impressions, the upgrade on this bike is beneficial. You know, it's not just a gimmick and just another thing to update it. You know, the twin discs do work better. We got the upgraded front forks as well. They are superb, absolutely superb. And the rear suspension is surprisingly good as well. We have got preload on the back, whatever this is set at, which I guess is position 2, as most Hondas generally are set at that. It's really well tuned, you know, not just the engine, but the whole bike is really well set up for all types of riding. You know, they really have made this bike quite universal. And not only that, it's universal for different riders as well. So, as I say, second bike, it's going to be great. Your only bike, it's going to be good. For me, would I have one? Probably not. But I recommend one every day. I mean, the only reason I wouldn't have one is just because I just want something these days with a bit more power. Because I am quite experienced now. So, but I recommend one of these bikes any day. Not only to the A2 lot or the first big bike riders, which this is absolutely fantastic, but also, you know, to anyone really who wants a bike. As I say, a friend of mine, Keith, he's just bought one after 15 years of not riding a bike, and yeah, he loves his, and it's done him the world of good getting back on a bike. And the 500F is a good start to get back into the bike again, get back into bikes. So what you might ask yourself is, would you have the 500 or the 650, and what are the differences? Well, the difference is really are just literally that. The 650 is a lot more powerful. It is a lot more of a racing machine, if you want it to be, because of the 4-pot cylinders. All the fun side of riding the bike is right at the top, and normally you're doing, you know, scary speeds at that point. Whereas this bike, you can really open out and enjoy it without doing no silly speeds and constantly trying to chase the torque curve. And now we've got the twin discs on the front as well. I mean, that does make a huge difference. The suspension is fantastic. There's nothing rattly about it. I think they've upgraded the front for sure, and I think they've done something with the back, and whatever they've done has given it much more of a premium feel, because the 2016 500F that I rode back then, it was a little bit on the rattly side, whereas this is really plush. It's whatever they've done a cracking job on it. So black and yellow, it kind of looks alright. When they first delivered it, I was quite shocked, because I was expecting a racing red type of colour, which is my own personal favourite. But in fact, the black and yellow doesn't look too bad, and it seems to be an in colour at the moment. Yellow and black, or orange and black, as I've recently rode on the Harley. Yeah, so overall, it's a good bike, and you know, that's just my first impressions. It's going to be a good bike, isn't it? It's a Honda, for Christ's sake. You know, it's they build good bikes, full stop, don't they? It's not going to be a bad bike coming from Honda. And funny enough, the actual seat is quite comfortable as well, which is surprising me. And I found that with the CBR that I rode, and I mean that seat was so comfortable, and I think this might have the same seat now as the CBR, and that was a fantastic bike. I really like that bike, and probably a bike which I could own now, actually. But yeah, great. Little pillion seat, got this nice aluminium what do you want to call that, mudguard stabilizer thing, maybe. Yeah, looks really good. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, and as I say, I will be doing a full review of this bike at some point, so come along for that. If you haven't subscribed yet, if you could hit subscribe, that would be great, and then you won't miss it. And I do have more coming up from not only this Honda bike, but another one as well. So for now, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next week.